This episode is brought to you by Travis Bull Johnson, who is running to be the next representative of Minnesota's 7th Congressional District. If you want to find out more about Travis and his run for office, go to bulljohnsonforcongress.us.
And now, Matt Wright and Spike Cohen.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Spike, David, Copper Hoarder, Cohen, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
I thought it was Copper Pincher, but
Maybe it was, I don't remember. That was yesterday. That was an hour ago. That was yesterday's episode. No matter which platform you are watching us on, listening to us on, we thank you, and to you we say, Bulavanaka.
Bulavanaka. And of course, be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. However you are watching or listening to this, be sure to follow or subscribe to us, however the thing is on that. And if what you are watching or listening to us on is YouTube, be sure to not just subscribe, but hit the little bell next to it too. We want your phone to explode with notifications every single time we go live or upload everything. And be sure to gift the gift of Muddy Waters today. Kids love it.
Kids love it. Now, we would...
But you know what kids don't love?
Well,
War with China.
I was going to say, before we get to that, I was going to ask a question for all of those who are watching. I'm going to put this in the notes. Before we get to the show, we wanted to ask a question to everybody who is watching this episode, whether you are watching it on YouTube. Actually, I guess you're only watching it, or you're watching it on Anchor at anchor.fm/muddiedwaters. So if you are watching this episode right now, which do you prefer? Answer us in the comments. Do you prefer one longer episode a week? Or do you prefer for us to continue cutting it up into two smaller episodes? Let us know. Yeah. Answer in the comments. So that way we get a better idea of what it is that people are looking forward to. If you're listening to this, leave a review on your favorite podcasting site and let us know if you want us to keep it as 2 episodes a week or you want us to go back to 1.
But give us 5 stars no matter how you...
Yeah, you have to give us 5 stars for us. Yeah, you have to give us the maximum number of stars.
We're not going to listen to you.
Or your vote doesn't count.
We'll only count the votes that have the maximum stars.
Right. If it's a 4-star page, then give us 4 and we'll read your review. If it's a 5-star page, we'll read your review if you give us 5 stars.
Yeah. But you know what doesn't get 5 stars? War with China.
War with China. So, as everybody here is probably very certain, I'm very certain of this at this point. Nancy Pelosi is taking a tour of Asia on official business. Now, initially on Sunday, when these notes were being written, Pelosi's office had announced that a congressional delegation headed by Pelosi had departed on Sunday for Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan. Obviously, they left out Taiwan from the official statement.
Yeah.
Everybody sort of knew that this is what she was going to do. This is coming as absolutely no surprise to anybody. China, who sees itself as the leader of Taiwan, says that by her entering, I don't know what they're saying anymore, it's so hard to keep up, but they were saying that by her entering Taiwan, this would be viewed as an invasion. it went so far that Hu Xishin, the Chinese mouthpiece, tweeted and later deleted, "If U.S. fighter jets escort Pelosi's plane into Taiwan, it is an invasion. The PLA has the right to forcibly dispel Pelosi's plane and the U.S. fighter jets, including firing warning shots and making tactical movements of obstruction. If ineffective, then shoot them down." When this news was starting to break, the GOP came out with an official statement on that, and we actually happen to have the official GOP statement when this news broke.
I find your proposal acceptable!
That was the official GOP statement.
Official GOP, and it cost them a pretty penny to get the licensing for that.
It did.
But we should get away with it though.
I can't believe that Justin Thoreau did that for them. Justin, it's not Thoreau. What is his name? Justin Roiland.
He's not
Justin
a Pelosi
Roiland.
fan.
He is not a Pelosi fan. That Justin
not a
Roiland.
Pelosi fan. Oddly enough, no. Yeah, I will say that the fact that that tweet was deleted, we were talking about this. The Chinese government's pretty tight on the spread of information. The fact that got deleted was kind of, I think, their way of letting everyone know, like, no, it's not.
So
we're not going to do that.
I was also reading. I was also reading that Twitter took down Hu Xijin's Twitter account until he deleted that tweet. I don't know if that.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh.
So I don't know if it was China said, yeah, delete that, or if it's because Hu Xijin
or the other authoritarian regime.
Twitter.
Which authoritarian regime told Hu Xijin? Xijin, if to take it down, but we know that some dictator, some kind, told him to take that down. Now we just have to know which one it was.
I'm honestly going to keep that clip forever and use it often.
I find your terms acceptable. Yeah.
Yes. So obviously, with her landing in Taiwan on Tuesday, earlier today, from when we were recording this, tensions in the South China Seas is super high. It's thick, as they would say. Thick tensions.
Thick.
Yeah. And there are multiple U.S. ships in the South China Seas right now, such as the USS Reagan, along with 3 others. All of them are there in order to ensure that China does not attempt to kill Speaker Pelosi.
Yep. And now the Chinese government is saying they will be conducting live fire drills in 4 separate areas around the Taiwan Strait. The UN has warned that one miscalculation by either side could lead to World War III. I mean, it really just seems like this is Nancy Pelosi. Like it really is. Well, and some other congressional Democrats, but like this is a congressional visit to an island. This happens a lot.
This is an 82-year-old woman who is saying that she's going over there on official business. We'll go into more about what she's doing over there in a little bit. But I am certain that the people in Beijing know that what she's doing over there isn't her making a statement over the sovereignty of Taiwan. What they know what she's over there doing and the self-satisfactory reasons that she is there.
Yep.
Now, Beijing is stating that they see this move as a move that would seriously violate China's sovereignty. because, as we all know, it regards Taiwan as part of its territory. And as we have stated on this show, they will be making a move, probably in the next few years, to reclaim the island of Taiwan as their own.
Right.
You've seen multiple military drills happening over the last year or so, with them sort of making moves and saber rattling to a point, playing a little bit of the brinksmanship on whether or not they will actually make a move on Taiwan, and testing probably the limits of the allies of Taiwan.
Yeah.
The People's Liberation Army has called on the U.S. to commit to its pledge to not support independence in Taiwan, which obviously they didn't listen to because Nancy Pelosi landed there earlier on Tuesday. Song Zhongping, a former PLA instructor, said the U.S. carrier strike group was likely to provide an escort for Pelosi with the trip. So while China is planning 4 days of military drills and they are promising military action for this move, a lot of people are saying that it's, saber rattling. And yes, that's probably true. Because what we know, and I'm certain that Beijing has the intelligence to also know, is that while in Taiwan, Pelosi plans on visiting several semiconductor factories. Now, Taiwan makes the vast majority of semiconductors in the world, and also arguably the best semiconductors in the world. And one of the things that they have stated in the past is if China were to try to come in and take over, they would destroy those factories. While she is over there, she's going to be looking at these semiconductor factories. And this obviously has in no way anything to do with recently passed legislation in the U.S. or her stock portfolio, in which
at all
certain investments were just made by her husband.
No way.
So,
no way.
This leads us to the chips.
In completely unrelated news.
Completely unrelated.
The government just passed the CHIPS Act. It's a $280 billion bill funding scientific research and giving computer chip manufacturers tens of billions of dollars of your money to build more production in the U.S., which has never failed before to be anything but a massive giveaway to corporations. Totally unrelated to this.
Can't imagine how that would go wrong. So
I don't even know why it's in the notes. I mean,
I don't know why I figured I would include that. The United States answer to manufacturing affordable semiconductors that are easily accessible should there be another pandemic that slows down the supply chain, which has created a lot of the surge in pricing for a lot of your computer needs out there that we've all felt since the pandemic. Or if, I don't know, let's say there's a country out there that you have been just absolutely destroying verbally for decades and talking about how terrible they are, and they have a chance to overtake the main source of where these semiconductors are made. Prices on them are going to go up.
Again, I don't see how that's related.
I don't see how any of this. I don't know. I was tired. So we're stuck in a situation where the prices of semiconductors could go up nationwide, or if Taiwan happens to keep the semiconductor plants and China doesn't invade them, then they will continue saying well made and relatively cheap as long as the supply chains go. But the U.S. wants their backup. So in July, the Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin wrote a letter to the Democratic and Republican leaders in Congress saying that the measure was critical for our national security. The U.S. making semiconductors at home critical for our national security. Now, oddly, an unlikely ally to Raimondo and Austin, Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State under Donald Trump, made an unlikely contribution to calls for its passage, stating, Congress must pass the CHIPS Act, both for our national and economic security. We have to become less dependent on China for critical technologies, and this is how we do it.
I mean, they should have just said this is crucial to our democracy. Like, it's wow. Now, noted off right twice a day broken clock, Bernie Sanders retorted on the floor of the Senate, the question we should be asking is this: should American taxpayers provide the microchip industry with a blank check of over $76 billion at a time when semiconductor companies are making tens of billions of dollars in profits and paying their executives exorbitant compensation packages? I think the answer to that question should be a resounding no. Which he's right.
Which he's
why? Now, I mean, his focus is that they're making all this money, but why are American taxpayers giving $76 billion to a very, 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 very profitable industry?
To a very profitable industry that will be... So I believe that what they're going to do is rebrand. They're going to rebrand Yorktown, Pennsylvania as the Silicon Valley of the East, and have them opening up silicon or semiconductor factories in Yorktown, Pennsylvania, so that people from Silicon Valley can move out there to make these things. I believe this is in the bill. I 100% believe this is in the bill.
Because I know someone living on Silicon Valley, every day they wake up and say, my God,
so tired.
If there's any way that I could possibly move to Yorktown, Pennsylvania.
So another...
Okay, now I got to know why specifically Yorktown, Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
Okay, while you're reading that, I'm going to go look up the Congress
person who wrote this. Yeah, because this is this bill was 100% written to revitalize the economy of Yorktown, Pennsylvania. And it's a $250 billion bill. Now, when you think of pairings with Bernie Sanders, you're not really thinking the Heritage Foundation. And Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, agreed with Bernie Sanders to an extent. And he said the answer to the Chinese Communist Party's malevolent ambitions is not spending billions of dollars to help Fortune 500 companies, which he's correct, 100% correct, with no guarantee those dollars won't end up supporting those companies' business operations in China. Also correct. Additionally, the Act's $250 billion price tag will contribute to record inflation and increase the already historic cost of living for workers and middle-class Americans. Also correct.
Yeah.
The Koch-funded Americans for Prosperity also agree with Bernie Sanders and see the bill as corporate welfare. The group's Vice President of Government Affairs, Akash Shaguli, said the United States didn't become the strongest and most prosperous society in the history of mankind by emulating the Chinese government's central planning, and we shouldn't start now. If we want to see more American investment, the U.S. government needs to stay out of the way, which is 100% right. Anytime that the United States government has started putting focus into one certain area, one certain group, the cost of it went up, the quality of it went down. And if you look at companies like Solyndra, they just sort of went away with all of the government money.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm doing a deep dive as we're talking about this. So Lloyd Smucker is the representative representing the Yorktown, PA is in the Pennsylvania's 11th district, and that's Smucker is the rep there. And I'm trying to find a connection other than he voted for it.
Well, of course.
But why Yorktown? Why specifically Yorktown, PA?
Yeah, I don't know why it was in Yorktown. I'm not sure if it was a tax haven for certain organizations.
That's very weird. Well, at any rate, here's the thing. Here's the thing here. The root cause of this is that we are entirely too reliant on mostly China, but China and a small handful of dictatorships for the provision of many things. Now, Taiwan is at least ostensibly a democracy, but we're reliant on countries that either are dictatorships or are in a pretty frightening foreign policy situation for all sorts of stuff. We're seeing that right now with, part of the reason that price for fuel went out of control is because we were relying on Russia and Saudi Arabia and Venezuela and all these, foreign regimes for oil. And so now we have it with semiconductors. And because of the ripple effect in the supply chain that was caused by the lockdowns and the stimulus spending, we're now just seeing, it's one day it's tampons, then the next day it's formula, and then it's semiconductors, and then it's cement, and it's like and fuel and like all these different things. It's everything. It's food. It's everything. The answer is always the same answer it's always been. We need to deregulate here. We need to make America capital friendly again.
Yes.
We need to make the cost of doing business here affordable again by getting rid of all of this burdensome overregulation so we aren't so reliant on these countries. Nancy Pelosi, it looks like, there's been congressional visits to Taiwan for as long as Taiwan has existed as its own semi-autonomous country.
She is the first government official in 25 years.
In 25 years? Okay.
25 years.
But I know, it's certainly not the first time it's happened by any stretch.
God, no. It has been a while.
Okay, it's been a while. It's been since the 90s. And you think the last time they came, China's position was nowhere near what it is right now. And that's part of the problem here is that you have the Chinese government now has the kind of resources where they can make this kind of saber rattling. And, God forbid, we're not out of the woods yet. God forbid she's over there and there's a live fire that, accidentally hits something, it hits a, U.S. Or some other military asset or hits a civilian ship or something and causes some kind of conflagration over there. Nancy Pelosi could end up being our Franz Ferdinand, which would kind of be funny, but it wouldn't. It also wouldn't. Like, it would also be terrible, and it would lead to World War III. And
it absolutely. And you're already starting to. So, because of her trip over there, which I don't want anybody. Again, nobody out there should think that she's doing this to show solidarity with Taiwan, because that is not the Democrat Party or the U.S.'s policy.
No,
they have a one China policy.
Yeah.
They have a one China policy. So she is going over there purely for selfish reasons. And it's to look at their factories to see if investing in the American factories is the right call. She's looking for insider. That is what is happening. But in doing so, Putin is calling out the U.S., saying that they are acting improperly on the world stage. Iran, who recently said they can make a nuclear weapon, is saying that they should not be over there and they should let China deal with it, and said that they would have China's back if China decided to do anything.
Yeah.
Her going over there for what is what is obviously just purely financial reasons could be the worst financial mistake she ever made. But also, it could be the thing that joins the what the U.S. would call the axis of evil in the upcoming World War III of China, Russia, Iran.
Yeah. So maybe instead of cronyism to offset cronyism to offset cronyism to try to trigger or stop the triggering of a world war, which could end up resulting in the triggering of a world war, maybe just deregulate things here and allow for more competition and stop creating a business environment that's just for a small handful of crony businesses. Maybe, I don't know.
And I understand why chips are so much less expensive when they're made in Taiwan. We all know the reason. We've gone over it on the show multiple times. Sweatshops are good for some areas. To move those facilities over to the U.S. and start building those things here is going to create more expensive products. Just based on what you would have to pay people. Things are going to become more expensive. On what it would cost to pay people to deliver the stuff, and what it would cost to pay whatever. All the way down the line, it's going to create higher cost for these items. Going over and messing with the way that they are doing things over there. Over there and messing with the way things are happening over there. To try to ensure that this program is a success over here will just create more expensive semiconductors, which means more expensive phones, more expensive computers, central processing units, TVs, basically anything that we use anymore, cars. Because making things here in the United States is more expensive. To recoup those costs, you have to make them up in the price.
Right, and that's the terminal problem that we have. But the good news is we have an episode for the subscribers this weekend. So good news. This ends on a good note. So join us this Saturday, where we will be taking our subscribers gave suggested things that they wanted to ask us about, and so we're going to be talking about that in the Saturday episode. If you want to become a subscriber and get access to this exclusive, juicy subscriber, I don't know why I said juicy, subscriber only content, go to anchor.fm/muddywaters/subscribe and enter the code word juicy. No, don't do that. There is no code word. But you can, for $10 a month, you get access to our subscriber only episodes. You also get access to an ad-free listening and viewing experience on all podcasting platforms, and you get a discount at our Muddy Waters Media store, which is at muddywatersmedia.com, and you get all sorts of other fun stuff for only $10 a month. Anchor.fm/muddywaters/subscribe. And we will be joining you, if you are a subscriber, we will be joining you on Saturday. And if you are not a subscriber, then that's fine. We will see you right back here, same muddy place, same muddy time, Tuesday for the next episode of the Muddy Waters of Freedom. So whether you're a subscriber or not, we will see you soon. And where we're going,
we don't need roads.